Today, on the coolest places on Earth, prepare to go on an adventure unlike any other. We're taking a trip to the long country, to the place where the land ends. To Chile, the South American nation of extreme contrasts, like bone-dry deserts and luscious waterfalls, snowy mountains and simmering volcanoes, where modern life and ancient history blend. And big cities are just minutes away from exotic warm islands and frosty getaways. Que rico! Here we come! This is the coolest places on Earth. Chile is situated on the western coastline of South America. This long, narrow ribbon of land sandwiched between the Andes Mountains, the longest continental mountain range in the world, and the Pacific Ocean, is one of the only two countries on the South American continent that doesn't border Brazil. It boasts a population of over 17 million people and a pristine coastline that stretches for 4,000 miles. Chile is also known for fine cuisine, prize-winning literature, high-octane sports, and the most diverse geography you can imagine. Today, Chile is considered one of South America's most prosperous nations. The Chilean flag, adopted in 1817, is also known as La Estrella Saltaria and bears a striking resemblance to the flag of the American state of Texas. Chile's diversity is astonishing and a study in contradictions. Not only are there incredible beaches for sun lovers, but 1,300 volcanoes, a few of which are still active, and some of the world's best skiing and snowboarding right in the months of July and August. Want more diversity? How about a trip to the world's driest desert? Just south of the Peru-Chile border is the Atacama Desert. It has the unique distinction of being the driest place on Earth. Some areas haven't gotten rain in over 454 years. Now that's what you call a dry spell. Atacama covers over 40,000 square miles of dry land, mostly composed of sand, salt lakes, and hardened lava. The Andes Mountains to the east are so high that any clouds that might bring a little rain are completely blocked. Though rain is extremely scarce, desert vegetation gets nourishment from the Camanchaca, a dense, misty fog that moves inland from the ocean and leads to incredible springtime flowers. As a result, some animals do live here, mostly insects and birds, including flamingos, and along the coast, Humboldt penguins. Since the Atacama is a coastal desert, it also makes it a very cool desert, literally. Daytime temperatures in the summer might soar only about as high as 80 degrees, and at night, temperatures can drop to freezing. This is not your typical desert. So, is there anything to do? If running is your thing, you might want to check out the Atacama Crossing, an annual 7-day, 155-mile race that attracts runners from every part of the globe. The race follows a course that covers the variety of terrain Atacama offers, including an average altitude of 8,000 feet over crunchy, uneven ground. So if you like to test your limits, this'll do the trick. But maybe you would rather ride across the desert in a car. Then solar racing is your best bet. The Atacama Solar Challenge features Latin American teams driving solar-powered cars in a 3-day annual event across an 800-mile course through the desert. With a solar car in the Atacama, you never run out of fuel. While in Chile, you can also hike to the moon without a spacesuit. The Valle de la Luna, or Valley of the Moon, is named for its otherworldly resemblance to the moon. These geologic formations were caused by thousands of years of blowing winds and flooding waters. It's an extraterrestrial masterpiece. So climb a dune and watch the sunset as you've never seen it before, as if from the moon or Mars. You're going to want pictures of this. It'll be cold, so then you can relax in a nearby natural desert hot spring, or just float in the Laguna Cejas, a lake so salty that it's nearly impossible to sink. And then there's El Tachio, the Tachio geysers, where steam shoots about 6 meters or 20 feet in the air. Watch out! Need a hand? Here's a big one. Mano de Desierto, Desert Hand, created by famed Chilean sculptor Mario Irarrázaval in the 1980s. Goodbye desert, hello rainfall zone. The beautiful port city of Valparaiso, the jewel of the Pacific, is the heartbeat of Chilean art and culture. Valpo for short is a veritable melting pot of Latin and European style, taste, and architecture, combining to create an original, eye-catching city and vibe. Its mild climate has often been compared to the perfection of Santa Barbara, California, with summertime highs reaching to the 80s and wintertime lows in the 60s. So take a wild guess at one of its major industries: tourism. Bright, colorful homes double as restaurants that serve some of the finest Chilean cuisine. And Valpo knows how to throw a festival. A 3-day celebration at the end of each year culminates with one of the biggest, brightest fireworks displays in all Latin America. Valparaiso was made for walking and taking in the rich scenery. You can admire the architecture and be overwhelmed by the verdant hills, the down-to-earth atmosphere, and the amazing waterways that make Valparaiso a thriving port. A 10-minute train ride will take you to one of many sugary sand beach towns, like Vina del Mar, a popular resort with tourists and locals. It's also called Ciudad Jardín, Garden City, and the ocean sunsets, sublime. Santiago, formerly Santiago de Chile, is nestled in Chile's Central Valley. This is the country's thriving economic center, a major metropolis with a population of over 5.5 million, which makes the Chilean capital the most populated city in the country. If you're looking for progressive art, serious shopping, great restaurants, and urban development, then Santiago is the right place to be. Santiago's subtropic Mediterranean-like climate means warm, dry summers between March and November, and mild winters that only last from June till August. You can go all year round. Sign up for a walking tour of Santiago's winding streets and unique points of interest. You can find beautiful parks, serious bike paths, and fascinating museums. And you can see the snow-capped Andes from practically every vantage point. Backyard stargazers, prepare to see the skies as never before. Pack your telescopes and hop the next plane to Chile, the stargazing capital of the world. When we come back, we'll peer into the universe, go skiing in July, puzzle at the Moai of Easter Island, and light on the Land of Fire. It's the coolest places on Earth. Welcome back to the coolest places on Earth. With its year-round dry air, high altitude, and pollution-free skies, Chile's deserts have become major hotspots for astronomers and observatory builders from all over the planet. The Cerro Telolo Observatory, located in the Valle de Elqui, is one of 28 observatories in the country. By day, this dry, dusty, peaceful little town in central Chile seems like the perfect place to kick back and get away from it all. But by night, it's a celestial extravaganza. Stars by the thousands can seem so close, you could reach out and almost touch them. This is why astronomers have considered Chile a celestial paradise. The Atacama Large Millimeter Array, or ALMA, is built at an altitude of 5,000 meters, about 16,500 feet up on the Chajnantor Plateau. It is the biggest, and at $1.4 billion US, the most expensive ground-based telescope in the world. But it's worth every penny to witness the birth of a star. There are more observatories in Chile than you can shake a stick at. If you're interested in visiting any of these observatories, it is strongly suggested you make a reservation. This is a hot ticket event. 20 years in the making, covering some 770 miles through what may be arguably the most beautiful parts of Chile. If you're driven by adventure, then it's time to take a ride on the Carretera Austral, or Southern Highway, Chile's scenic Route 7. Chile's sole north-south highway travels through Patagonian Chile, from Puerto Montt to Villa O'Higgins, near the southern ice fields of Campo de Hielo Sur. Between those 2 points, prepare to be overwhelmed by nature's splendor. You can stop along the way to take advantage of great fishing, extraordinary hiking, sea kayaking in some of the coldest, cleanest glacial rivers in the world, and your favorite extreme sports. Just make sure you gas up before you hit the road. The coolest way for nature lovers to explore the majestic Andes Mountains, breathtaking waterfalls, forests, and everything this region has to offer is by water. Whitewater. Chile's premier whitewater is on the Futaleofu River, or Fu for short, in southern Chile, for an out-of-this-world Class 5 rafting experience you're not likely to ever forget. Just try to stay in the boat. But maybe you'd prefer an icy high-altitude slope to whitewater. If you haven't figured it out yet, Chile has it all, including some of the best skiing you'll find in the middle of August? That's right. Summer months mean cool winter sports in the Andes. From June to October, it's all about skiing. Portillo is one of the oldest resorts in the country, renowned for its incredible views and awesome slopes. And a mere 35 miles east of Santiago is Valle Nevado, considered by many to be one of the best ski resorts in South America, with heights of up to 12,000 feet and some of the freshest powder you could ask for. These slopes provide all the excitement and energy you'd expect from skiing in Colorado, Alaska, or Switzerland, but with a few added special attractions, like condors taking wing or volcanoes steaming as you pass by. There are so many superb slopes, you won't be able to count them. And borders? Shred away. You'll find yourself in great company here. And if you thought dog sledding was reserved for the Northern Hemisphere, you're wrong. Prepare to mush. Several resorts provide packages that include cross-valley sledding adventures, just in case you couldn't make it to the Iditarod. But if you don't know how to ski, or if you need to brush up on your downhill technique, most of the resorts, like Portillo, provide top-notch training schools for kids and adults. But be prepared, the kids always learn faster. Torre del Paine in the extreme southern Magallanes region is easily one of Chile's largest and most popular attractions, receiving over 150,000 international visitors a year. National Geographic named it the 5th most beautiful place in the world. Just one look at this scenic marvel will tell you why. But you'll want more than one day exploring this immense park. There are 700 square miles to see. You'll find about 100 different species of birds here, like the Andean condor, along with some pretty remarkable wildflowers, guanaco, and windswept bent-back trees. Most visitors hike the famed W Circuit through this real-life emerald forest to Cuernos del Paine, or Paine Horns, massive facing walls of granite. Wind your way into the valleys or to the banks of the azure blue Pejo, gray or Nordensk Jold lakes, or marvel at the spellbinding southern Patagonian ice field, the second largest contiguous ice field outside the polar regions in the world. You can hike here nearly year-round, but the austral summer is the best, when the sun can stay up until almost midnight, so you can continue to wander through the park when you might normally be in bed. But regardless of when you visit Torre del Paine, you may never want to leave. Next, heads up, we're off to Easter Island and a trek across the Land of Fire when the coolest places on Earth returns. Welcome back to the coolest places on Earth. Lush, beautiful Kilauea is the largest island in the Kilauea archipelago, located in southern Chile. At over 3,000 square miles, Kilauea is separated from the mainland by the Gulf of Ancud and the Gulf of Corcovado. And this separation has allowed it to develop its own distinct vibe. If you're looking for sea life, Kilauea is the place to be. The majestic blue whale traverses these waters, along with sei whales and black-chinned or Peale's dolphins, sea lions, and penguins. And from Kilauea, you won't have to go far to see a whale breach the surface or spray a hello from its blowhole. Just take one of Kilauea's many guided cruises. You'll be on the lookout for 100-foot-long, 190-ton blue whales and blue whale calves. These gentle giants are the largest animals in the world, both today and for all of time. But after you've treated yourself to Kilauea's incomparable exteriors, Why not travel inland and try a little island culture? Chiloé's architecture is quite unique and maintains a distinct Spanish colonial and indigenous flair. There are dozens of wooden churches built by Jesuit missionaries back in the 16th century. Nearly every building here is made of wood and is reminiscent of Chiloé's past, or customized to fit the environment, like these amazing houses built on stilts. Like the diet of its first inhabitants, the cuisine is heavily seafood-based. Bon appetito! Rapa Nui, more widely known as Easter Island, is only 63 square miles, but lies about 2,200 miles off the coast of Chile. But despite the distance, it's still considered part of Chile. It's one of the most isolated islands in the world, sitting practically in the middle of nowhere. Even so, it's known worldwide because of these. The Moai, nearly 1,000 monolithic statues of heads built centuries ago by the mysterious people of Rapa Nui. Each one is carved from a single massive piece of stone. Each has its own look and personality, and every one of them faces inland. It's said these statues represent their much revered ancestors. Dutch settlers in the 1700s gave Rapa Nui the name Easter Island simply because they landed there on Easter Sunday. These massive stone blocks weigh an average of 14 tons and stand from 13 to 32 feet tall. How the builders did it without modern-day tools and equipment remains a big mystery, but the brilliance of their achievement is unquestionable. Today, Easter Island remains a highly popular tourist site. Make sure you visit the Rano Raraku Quarry, which provided the stones for the Moai. Down in the quarry are over 400 stones in various stages of completion. Even though the Moai are a huge draw, that's not all Easter Island has to offer. The island is home to 3 large volcanoes, Terra Vaca, which is a vast part of the island, Poik, and Ranukau, which is a giant crater. Another one of the island's biggest tourist attractions are the eco-lodges, made from all natural materials from the island, wood, adobe, grass, and clay, and are valued for their unobstructed views. Wilderness hikes are always a good choice, but there's also scuba diving in crystal blue Pacific waters, sailing, and phenomenal stargazing. Or you can spend your vacation carving a stone family portrait. When we come back, we'll cross the Strait of Magellan to the tip of South America, the land of fire. What's burning here? We'll tell you when we return. This is the coolest places on Earth. Welcome back to the coolest places on Earth. Tierra del Fuego, the land of fire, is at the very southern tip of South America. Go past it, and the next landmass is Antarctica. Tierra del Fuego is a little bit Chile and a little bit Argentina. It's split down the middle. It's also the home of Tierra del Fuego National Park. Many have compared it to Alaska's Panhandle, mostly because of its frontier spirit and similar industries, like oil and fishing. Not to mention king crab, a regional specialty. So, who named Tierra del Fuego? Portuguese explorer Ferdinand Magellan in 1520. When he sailed through the strait that now bears his name, no one from the Old World had ever been there, and the locals on the island had never seen such a magnificent ship in the water. To warn others down the coast, they lit fires. One look, and Magellan was inspired. Its name may be hot, but this sub-Antarctic forest stays pretty cool, from a max of 80 in the summer to below freezing in the winter, which means there must be glaciers. You can hike to Glacier Marshall, but dress warm and be prepared to be amazed. Take a catamaran trip around the Beagle Channel and hang out with sea lions. Go snowboarding at Cerro Castor. Or take a day trip to the Penguin Rookery, a boisterous breeding colony. And at the end of the world, you can fish, relax, hike, or take a cruise and leave all your cares behind. From top to bottom, Chile is one long and various adventure. Our advice? Go the long way. Keep exploring. This is the coolest places on Earth.